Hey everybody, welcome to Kerbal Space Program. It's a game I played a lot recently. I haven't played it for a little bit now, so there's a few new things with a patch, and I figured, what a good thing to start with on my channel. So, we're going to start the game, and I'm going to show you. This already looks different, but basically this is where we go to create a spaceship. Now, I'm going to start pretty much from the beginning, just getting off the ground and stuff, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to start with a command pod. This obviously has been fast forwarded because some of this stuff just takes so long. But alright, so we're going to have a command pod, and there's a separator between them, or a decoupler I think they call them to be specific. I'm going to add a parachute on it as well. Basically when it goes back into the atmosphere, it's just going to be this capsule up here, and it'll have a parachute to stop it. Now, you make several different stages with these spaceships. So right now I'm adding some fuel and a little thruster there. That's going to be like just the last stage, getting it up into the air. And this is going to be the main one here then. So we've got a main sail engine. I don't know if there's really any better ones, but that's always what I use as my first one. And then we're going to put some little decouplers on the sides here for some solid boosters. Now, I could explain to you during the takeoff and everything what the differences are between liquid fuel and solid fuel. Basically, the solid fuel boosters work a lot better. There's a lot of power behind them, but you can't control the thrust or anything like that. So it's pretty much just like a liftoff kind of thing. Other than that, they're pretty much useless. But I like the power behind them. I usually use them in my first stage every single time. So we name it. We'll name it Lifter 1. And crew, yeah, we'll go with Jebediah. He's the man. Oh shit, I forgot something very important. Let's go back to the vehicle assembly. And the last thing to put will be these guys right here, just to hold the spaceship until it takes off. Definitely useful. Okay, so we got Jebediah. First thing we're gonna do, I turned the SAS on, but oh shit, actually what's going on here? Not enough power. Let's activate this engine. Come on. That's a really awkward liftoff for my first try. Alright, a little stabilized now. I've already messed up the stages. Those are on the left there. As you can see, when these solid boosters run out, go to the next stage with those next three. And this is when the liquid fuel is supposed to turn on. As you can see on the little nav ball in the middle, there's the throttle on the left. That controls your liquid fuel's throttle. The solid fuel, like I was saying, doesn't have any ability to change its speed or throttle or anything like that. It just burns out completely as soon as you activate it. So that's why they're good for takeoff, but nothing else really. And now I'm going up still, and actually my engine is overheating a bit, so I need to bring the throttle down a little more to keep it from burning up and blowing up. Now the reason I love Jebediah, if you look in the bottom right there, is he has no sense of danger whatsoever. He could be on fire, barreling through the atmosphere, and he'll have that smile on his face. The other guys will usually be screaming. But I guess that's what you need when you're in a space program designed by anyone like me or whatever like that. You need to be fearless. Alright, so we're getting out of the atmosphere, and we are on our last stage of thrust. Now if you look over in the left there, you can see the three stages that are left. we've got this stage is just the thruster. Pretty much when that runs out of fuel or whatever, I can go to the next stage, which is only decoupling my cockpit from the rest of this, what's left of the craft. And then the last stage after that, once I'm back in the atmosphere, I deploy that parachute up at the top. I can go into a little more detail next video about the staging, because there's a lot of advanced stuff you can do with the staging. This is basically just, okay, let's get out of the atmosphere stage by stage and get back in, land Jeb safely. Now we're getting pretty high, actually. Our apoapsis, which is that's the highest point of our orbit, is getting up there. That's usually when I'm in orbit around the planet, I just go around 100 kilometers, and we're going past 500. And we still got plenty of fuel left. I'm thinking I might have to maybe cut it early, because I overestimated how much fuel I'd need just to get out of the atmosphere and back in. No, not even in orbit this time. I'll do orbit in the next video. Jeb, of course, still loving it. The apoapsis is getting even further. I'm about to go past the moon. Jeez. No, I'm definitely going to need to fast forward that trip. And you know what, I'm just going to stop there, because that's just too much. I'm going to decouple and leave it as just the capsule, which is shaking a little strangely whenever I keep the SAS on. The SAS, by the way, which I didn't really go into detail with because this craft didn't have one, is just like a stabilizing computer, so it'll keep you facing the direction that you're facing instead of tumbling or anything like that. Very helpful for things like takeoff or aiming at a certain point and thrusting. And at this point, I'm just kind of going to let it go far away, hit its apoapsis, and then we're going to go back down. And, oh wait, I've still got a long way to go. 6 million kilometers away from the planet before I start falling back down to it. Let's fast forward at 1,000 times speed. And I'm just about reaching it now. Now I'm going to start going down. And look how fast it starts going down. Fortunately, the game starts slowing itself down by the time you hit the atmosphere. There's certain levels that you can get to certain speeds. Once you hit the atmosphere, you're back down to 1 time normal speed. So as you can see, if you look down at the nav ball, as soon as you hit the atmosphere, my speed just drops insanely because the air slows it down, which helps out a lot because once my force gets back down to a safe area, I can deploy my parachute to slow down the rest of the way. Right about a little more, about 1,000 feet or so. Yeah, okay. And then that's it. Now the parachute slows you down to a 6 meter a second fall. It actually works on other planets too, just they need to have atmosphere, so something like the moon or something like that, the parachute wouldn't do anything. But when you get to Juno, which is like the Mars equivalent of this solar system, then you can use the parachute. But I've never actually landed on there yet. I do intend to in this series of videos, so we'll see how it works. At this point in any of the missions, though, all that's really left is to let your craft land safely and consider your mission a success. I actually kind of wish I was able to control the aim a little bit so I could have landed over to the right there. There's a little lake and everything. That would have been a cool place to land, but it is what it is. Warning, hatch may open. That sounds promising. Alright, anyway, Jebediah still as excited as always. He is about to land. Still another 200 meters, but 6 meters a second. That's a decent speed, and you touch down safely. And let me get them out. Even though this is the planet they live on, let's get all excited, and we're going to plant a flag. And of course the flag is backwards. But, this is our first mission. It was a success. Let's mark this occasion. First flight. Text. That was weird, because I've never actually gotten to that altitude without even being in orbit. So, that's it. We will come back next episode, and we will actually get our next craft into orbit. Until next time.